If you wake up to a beautiful morning and you sit outside, but you can't stop thinking, could you really even enjoy it?
So lately I've been thinking a lot about thinking. Now, the reason why I've been thinking so much about thinking is because thinking, I feel, is one of the things that can really be one of the biggest challenges in life. Like, I'm sure we've all had the experience of having an important sports match or having to give a speech or something, and in these moments you get stuck in your head, you can't get the words out in the speech, and you end up performing horribly, and it's all because of your mind. On the other hand, the mind is so important. Your mind helps you to strategize and contemplate, and for that it's a fantastic tool. But what happens when the tool starts to become the obstacle? So actually, for a couple years, there was this big challenge that I had, and that was a compulsive thinking around business. I used to have a really hard time splitting up my life between working and then actually enjoying life, like, personally. So because I did e-commerce, like online business, there was not that much of a difference between like working hours and then play hours. During the time that maybe I could be watching TV, sometimes I would be just taking care of work. And so work kind of fused between my personal life and my business life, and it kind of created this really disorienting workflow. I constantly kept thinking about work. No matter where I would go or what I was doing, I was constantly strategizing, thinking. And what I realized is that all of this thinking made me feel, oh, hi Kai. All of this thinking made me feel exhausted. When you're constantly strategizing, you're constantly trying to problem solve in your mind, that creates stress. You're exercising your mind almost. And the crazy part is, a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this, we get addicted to that stress. It's a crazy thought, right? Being addicted to stress. But the thing is, stress can be entertaining. That's why people cause drama, because they like to feel something. But something that I actually learned from my dog Cosmo is that no matter where you go, there you are. If you go take your dog for a walk, where is that dog? It's with you, and their mind is only in that present moment. So how much less stress, how much more enjoyable is their life? Look at him. He looks so happy, and I think the reason is because of that. He's here, he's just enjoying his time with me right now. Well, I'm actually thinking and recording a video. So let me ask you something. How many memories have you missed out on by thinking? So honestly, I think it's not as simple as don't think, because in fact, if I were to tell you right now not to think, that's not really possible. And I think this is a very important distinction, because the goal, the idea with all of this, it's not to just eliminate thoughts. It's actually to enter what's called the flow state. I don't know why I'm on the floor right now. It's actually pretty dirty, so let's get out of here. But yeah, the flow state is that state that you enter when you're in the zone. When you play a sport and you can just feel like time slows down. You're no longer in your head, but you're in reality. Every part of you is engaged and it's acting in harmony, and you are playing at your peak, right? You're not thinking, you're just acting. If you're making art or you're playing an instrument and you're just jamming out and you're playing from your heart, you feel it in your soul, you're not thinking, you're just playing. According to me, that is exactly how the mind is supposed to be. It's the best state it could possibly be in. It's not interfering, but it's assisting you as a tool in the most efficient way, as it was designed to. You're not trying to resist anything, and you're also not trying to desire, really have anything made. Instead, you're just in the moment, responding to things simply as they are. So not only do you feel really good in that place, but it's almost your peak, your best performance. And I know all of us have had a taste of that, but the goal is to bring that taste and make that taste of it just way bigger. So it's not just a little preview, it's not just a little glimpse, but you can kind of slip into that a lot easier and a lot more regularly. But how do you do that? Well, this is how I do it. Feel more than you think. So here's what I mean. As a human, we have three components to life, and that is the mental component, which is like the thinking, the mind, and then we have the physical component, the physical body, and then there's a third one, which is the emotional, all of those feelings, the sensations that we have inside of us. So those three components are pretty much what make up life as a human. But when we overemphasize one over the other, we can almost start to create problems for the other ones. And that's exactly what happens when we think. When we start to forget that the mind is a tool and we start to make the mind our experience of life, we actually take away from the real experience, which is all three of those components working together in harmony. So simply put, if you think too much, then just feel more. It's really that simple, because physically, you can feel your body physically, you can feel the things around you, even listening, even looking around. Those are all what I mean by feeling, like experiencing life, feeling your emotions, feeling the sensations, and coming to peace with all of those instead of trying to constantly look away. Now, I'm no guru, so I'm just gonna share what works for me. The first thing is meditation. I'm not going to get into it here. We already covered it in the last video, so no need to explain. The next thing, which is more the focus of this video, is putting more feeling into the things that you do every day. When we go about life and we just continue doing the same old thing over and over again, the same even mundane things, we start to create patterns that make us distract ourselves from what's happening in the moment. We're like, oh, I've already experienced this before. Looks like I gotta find something new. So you open your phone, you start scrolling, you start thinking about something else while you're doing it. And all of that takes away from that one singular moment. You're not experiencing the moment anymore. You're experiencing your thoughts. You're experiencing something that's stimulating your mind, entertaining it. But while entertaining your mind, you miss out on all of the things that make you feel alive. Try this. The next time you go eat by yourself, instead of just thinking and being occupied with your thoughts or pulling out your phone and doing some mindless entertainment, why don't you try paying attention to the physical and emotional aspects happening? You can notice the room around you, the sounds that you hear. Then tune into your body and really enjoy the food as it's happening in that moment. It's so simple, but all of those things are what make you feel alive, because they're what's happening in that moment. And by simply being there with them, you become present. You see, the goal with all of this isn't to not think. That's never what we're trying to do. But instead, what we're doing is we're giving the mind less power. We're giving the mind less control over us by deliberately putting our attention on the other things that are happening, which is kind of what meditation is in a way. The goal with all of this is to avoid excessive thinking, the excessive thinking that stresses us out, the excessive thinking that takes us away from the moment. The mind is a great tool, and it's going to help you do even better work. It's going to help you be even more proficient in life when you're coming from a calm state where you're so much more grounded. You can feel yourself, you can feel other things around you, and because of that, you feel calm. The mind is very antsy, but everything else is actually in reality quite simple. So anyway, that's what I have to share with you. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to let me know in the comments and subscribe for more. This is Shane, and I will see you in a few days in the next video. Peace out.